Hello, boys and girls. So, I'm posting this video a little early because I know some of you told me that you're a little bit ahead, and I want you to be able to watch these videos as you do these packets because they can help you. We're going to do an activity after I go over the directions today that I hope you all will enjoy. So, let me go over the directions real quick and then I will tell you what we're going to do. All right, so it is NTI Day 22. And you are going to be reading a story about wheels and axles. And it has a diagram at the top that shows you how a wheel and an axle works. And if you read this, it's going to have a few questions after. It says, which sentence from the passage does the diagram help you to explain? And these questions can be a little tricky, but you need to pick the sentence that shows what the picture shows. So it shows the axle and the wheel and how they turn. So if we read them, a wheel and axle can help move people or objects from one place to another. Does that show you what the picture shows? No. Wheels and axles are all around you. That's true, but is that what the picture shows? C, cars and bicycles have wheels and axles. That's also true, but is it what the picture shows? And D, the axle goes through the center of the wheel. Is that what the picture shows? If we go back up, the axle is in the center of the what? The wheel. So does the diagram show that? Yes. So you would use process of elimination with that. So if you have questions like that, boys and girls, you need to read it, check it, read it, check it, read it, check it. How does the diagram add to what the author tells us? Same thing. When you're reading those choices, go back up, look at the picture, make sure that it does what you say, okay? All right. When you get to the short answer question, it says, how does this article help you understand how wheels and axles work? Use one detail from the diagram and one detail from the text to support your answer. So you're going to pick out one sentence from the article that helps you understand how wheels and axles work, and you're going to tell me one thing that the picture shows you. Okay, then you have a bar graph. You might have worked on bar graphs in math because you have to do a little bit of math usually when you're working with bar graphs. So I hope that Ms. Coleman has talked to you about these. It says, what is being compared? And we know what that word means because we've practiced comparing and contrasting, right? So what are they trying? Let's look at the title. What does it say? Favorite what? Pet. Favorite pet. So you would pick favorite pet of students. What is the most favorite pet? So the higher the bar, the more people picked that. And it tells you the number over here on the side. So for example, nobody said cat. I know Maggie, if you're watching this, you would definitely have said cat if we were doing our own bar graph. So make sure that you look over to the side and that'll tell you how much it is. So if we look at pig, for example, it goes 2, 4, 6, 8. Skip counting by what? 2. So if you skip count by 2s, you'll be good to go. So that's what you're doing for the bar graph. And then it's compare and contrasting hamsters and gerbils. So we have done compare and contrast. So this is a little review. I've tried to include one review skill so that you all can keep practicing them. I don't want you to forget about them. All right, so that's what you're going to do in the packet today. Now, what we are going to do is to show you how powerful pictures can be, we are going to do a with and without a picture activity. So this is about narwhals, and narwhals are a kind of fish. So they're a type of whale. I said fish, but whale, they're a type of whale. So I want to read this with you, and then I want you to do the activities that I am going to be reading about in just a second. You can do them on a piece of paper, or you can do them in the comments. Either way is fine with me. All right, I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll do some things after that. So narwhals are rare, medium-sized whales found in the Arctic Ocean. They eat shrimp, squid, and fish. Although they usually move slowly, they can be very fast when chased by predators. Their natural predators include polar bears and orcas, also called killer whales. They are capable of diving 5,000 feet beneath the surface of the ocean. They travel in groups of 10 to 20 called pods. They can communicate with each other using sounds like squeals and clicks. In summers, narwhals move closer to shore. In winters, they are further out to sea and live under ice. So if we just had this passage without any pictures, we don't know, maybe you've never seen a narwhal. You don't know what a narwhal looks like. So if we had a picture here, boys and girls, that would tell us, we could put that picture, that visual in our mind. But we did learn a lot about narwhals in that passage. So I want you to think of 3 facts that we just learned about narwhals. So you can pause it and you can jot them down, or you can tell them out loud to the person that you're watching this video with. But go ahead and pause it, or if you need, I'll scroll back up so you can pause it on here and look. You can look back in the passage and find 3 facts about narwhals that you learned. All right. So I hope that you said you could have told you could have told their predators. You could have told what their groups are called. You could have told what they sound like, or how they communicate. Any of those would have been great. And after that, we're going to look at what this would have been like with a picture. So before, we didn't have a picture, and now we have a picture of a narwhal. So if we look at this narwhal, what's one thing that they did not talk about in the passage? I want you to write, or not write, you can say it out loud or write it if you have a piece of paper. I want you to write or think out loud 2 things that you learned from this picture that we didn't learn in the passage. And I'll scroll back up to the passage. If we look at that picture, and like I said, you can pause this and then come back when you're ready. I wish I could hear your answers. Okay, so one thing they did not talk about right here is what on the front of their body. They have a big what? Kind of like a unicorn horn, right? So that's actually a tooth. I learned that when I watch a lot of like Planet Earth and Blue Planet, and one of those nature shows were talking about narwhals and how that's just a really long tooth, and they actually don't know why narwhals have it. So what else did we learn from this picture? Did it talk about the color of them? No, they're kind of a grayish blue. Now, this is an illustration. It's not a photograph, but if we were going to pull up a photograph of a narwhal, they're kind of a grayish bluish color like they have them colored here. All right, so do you see how having a picture there really can help you, give you more information? All right, so there's a question down here that says, how does having a picture with the text change what you know about the animal? So what did having that picture there, what did it do for us, boys and girls? If you said it shows us what they look like, then you're exactly right, because it told us a little bit of information about it, but the picture really lets us make that connection of what it would look like if we saw one in the wild. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about, it says the narwhal is called the unicorn of the ocean because of the large tusk on its face. The tusk is actually a tooth and can grow up to 9 feet long. Only the male narwhals have this spiral tooth. I didn't know that. Sometimes they clash their tusks against each other. Scientists guess that they do this as a way to fight, communicate, or impress female narwhals. Scientists aren't really sure why they have this tooth. Write your opinion on why male narwhals have a long tusk. So you're making a prediction or what you think is the reason that male narwhals have this tusk. So you can tell whoever you're watching this with, you can pause it and write it. You can do whatever you would like to do. All right, if I were making a guess, they live in colder environments. I think it has something to do with maybe breaking up ice. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure they use it as a way to communicate as well. There has to be a reason or they wouldn't have it. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you have a good day. I hope that you are staying safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.